I'm joined here by Marco Stramaccioni, who is Chief Executive Officer of ADR Security at Aeroporti Di Roma. Marco, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Holly. It's great to be here. It's great. World Aviation Festival is full of ideas and it's a great time to be.
So firstly, if you could please tell us a little bit about your role and what it involves.
I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Security in Fiumicino and Ciampino, and we are more or less 1,000 workers that care for all the airport security processes in these two airports. And it's a great responsibility, and in these exciting times of airport security in which everything is changing, the technologies, artificial intelligence is so much work to do, and it's very exciting to adapt and learn to convey all this value to our customers.
And just to touch on that new technology that you mentioned, earlier this year you introduced new security technology at Fiumicino Airport. So now passengers can take more than 100 milliliters in their hand luggage, and they also don't have to remove items such as laptops. What improvements in throughput and also customer experience have you gained as a result of this fantastic new initiative?
It's a great change. It's a breakthrough change in security processes. For example, this year in summer we delivered 4 minutes of waiting time in 90% of the cases, and 99% 6 minutes. So it's a great result, and we allowed all the other airport processes to work at their best, and we are very glad about that. The CTEC technology is a great change for both passengers and operators. It's a technology that still needs a lot of evolution, because every airport trialed 1 or 2 or 3, but not many airports have a full terminal. Fiumicino has a full terminal from January, and we will have both terminals in the end of the year. And this really changed the way we do things. It's easier for the passengers, it's easier for the operators, the process is smoother, so the disruption are less. So really changed the way we work. A lot of work must be put inside this change, because the CONOPS change, the procedures change, and all suppliers need to adapt in order to cope with the processes of each single airport. So it's a great evolution to go through.
And I mean, I speak from experience when I have gone through security and I have to remove my laptop, my iPad, everything. I can only imagine it is so much better because everything falls out of your bag when you do that. And
in terms of experience, is really a game changer. We are working for the future, because at the moment this technology is compatible only with the larger airports. The smaller airports that are the most have space constraints that are very strong. For example, Ciampino for us. For example, we are working with Cassioli, one of our historic suppliers, to find a way to make shorter lines with a smaller space to deliver the same capacity, more or less the same capacity. This will allow for the CT technology to go over all the world and really change the experience, because otherwise you depart from Fiumicino and you can bring whatever you want, and on the way back it's not the same. So it's just half of the benefit there.
And have you found some of your passengers still expect to have to take out everything? So they're actually quite surprised, and they've already started doing that.
People need time to adapt. We are trying to talk about this change, but it will really change once all the airports change the technology. At the moment, we are still struggling with people asking if they have or not to throw away their liquids. But usually, also, if you say to them it's okay, they drink it all before. Yeah. So it's funny scenes.
Yeah. And of course, your non-aeronautical colleagues must be really happy at the moment, because the passengers are arriving through quicker and less stressed.
It's really, again, it's a game changer, and it will be the future of our business.
And do you have any statistics you can share with us on the uptick in non-aeronautical revenue? Or
the statistic that I will share is that the average throughput of the lanes, you will not usually have a peak throughput increase, especially if, like us, you are very optimized as a process, but the average throughput will raise. So the capacity to absorb disruptions, so lots of people coming all together at the same time, or problems coming from the malfunctioning of anything in the security checkpoint, are absorbed more swiftly. And this, in terms of security, is very, very important.
Excellent. Now, how have you seen security threats against airports evolve in the past couple of years?
They are evolving continuously. Luckily, and we everything is challenging all the airports, all the institutions, all the countries are really working on that. We have international tables going over all the year, and we are really trying to adapt and evolve the regulations and the technology and processes all the time. There's a lot of collaboration in Italy between ENAC, our main stakeholder, the police, and all the forces, and now we are focusing also on the insider threat. That is an important thing to cope with. That is different and is far from the checkpoint dedicated to the passengers, and it's such a challenge. But we are really working on that.
And what would you say about the evolution of cyber physical threats, and how do you think this actually applies to airports?
That's another very important part. We as airports manage a lot of information, integrated information from cameras to digital badges to e-gates, and we have our IT department that is evolving to that, as is happening everywhere in the world. And it's a thing that is not fully understood yet because it's very new, and as passengers must adapt to the liquids not to be thrown away from their baggage, all the organization must cope with this new idea that the threats are not only physical but can go through our devices and phones and
what technology is going to be disrupting the airport security space most in the next 2 years?
I think that we have three things. One I told you about is making the lanes shorter and smaller for the small airports. The second is the city technology is very important, but it's very big and clumsy. It's very weighs a lot and it's big, and it needs to become smaller and smaller in time to be adaptable to all the checkpoints. And finally, the APIDs, so the automatic detection through artificial intelligence of the shapes of the objects. At the moment, we are able to detect the matter, so the atomic number of stuff, to understand if it's explosive or not potentially, but we are not able to recognize the shapes. We are working with another partner, Auxilia, to create all the intelligence that is needed for the machines to understand how the objects are made and how they can be detected fastly and quickly and securely through our security agents.
So, I mean, in the future, do you envision security guards not even looking at the kind of X-rays coming through I don't know if that's the right word.
No, I don't think so. I think that the main asset of the security process are people. We are one of the few airports that have all internal people working for security. I'm very proud and grateful of them because in a time of great change, the change can be coped with people that learn and adapt to convey this value. From our agents to our planners to our trainers to our supervisors to our managers, everybody is really working with passion, with devotion, with professionalism to change, because our life-changing evolutions in the way of working, in the way of communicating with the passenger, and they really are our main asset on which you build. Security is one of the works in the airport in which the decision about a passenger or a baggage that is clean is given to one person. So they must be very skilled, very motivated, and in my opinion, they are the main asset on which we are building our success.
Now, what is the benefit of bringing security in-house, so to speak?
It's great. For example, in Fiumicino, we didn't suffer the staff shortages of 2022. We managed to have a summer without disruption. It was exceptional because everybody was suffering in that year. You managed to talk with people, to motivate people, to train people, to understand what are the problems, to drive them through their life, because we are people working 20, 30 years with us. And this is very important also for security reasons, because insider threat comes easier from people changing over time in the airport. Our people really feel the airport as their home, and so they protect them with their lives. So it's a great thing to have.
That's fantastic to hear that you didn't experience the same workforce shortages as other airports have around the world. Do you find it difficult to recruit in general to the security profession, or how do you seek to attract and maintain this workforce?
It's not easy at all. We averagely spend 6 months from the curriculum to the people ready to work in the field. But as I told you, having this in-house force, we have a strong reputation on the territory, and so we don't find issues to find the right people to have. As I told you, it's just a matter of time of reaction, because if you need the 6 months to put people inside, you have to be very good at forecasting what is happening. Otherwise, your time of reaction in putting additional workforce is not enough.
And you mentioned insider threat. How do you kind of monitor your workforce just to make sure that they're happy, they're not going to become disgruntled and might potentially turn into a threat?
There is a very strong network of security controls on everybody that works and in the airport. We have a division of the airport that works on the security check, the background check on people that are made in collaboration with our forces. And it's a continuous monitoring system that always checks for what is happening to the people also outside the airport, because if something happens, we know through our police forces. It's very important. We make also a continuous work of training of everybody that works in the airport to make them aware of what the potential risks can be and can come from their conduct, or to be aware of of their surroundings and people working with them to see if something goes wrong.
And finally, what is keeping you awake at night, Marco?
Oh, at the moment, my daughter. She is very young. What is keeping me awake is to, how can I say, horseback ride this change in the right way with the right pace. We started working with CT technologies, for example, 3 years ago, and the technology is ready when it works 99% of the time in security. When we innovate in all the other processes, you can try and fail. In security, you cannot. So the thing that makes me awake at night is to insert all the new technologies and all the new CONOPS, all the new APIs with the right times, in order to ensure that this 99.9% of reliability of the processes is guaranteed. This is the point.
Marco, that was my final question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.